following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Breaking Into. Featuring in-depth interviews with today's most influential entertainment figures, highlighting their tips, tricks, and techniques on breaking into the entertainment industry.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Breaking Into.
There we go. The streets have no name. Love it. Thank you, you two. I love you guys. Hi, welcome to Breaking Into here on Black Hollywood Live. I am your host, James Lott Jr., and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at BlackHopeLA. That's B-L-A-K, Hope-L-A. And James Lott Jr. everywhere else in the world. I'm so happy to have you guys here today for another edition of the show, Breaking Into. My guest today is somebody that I think he's on social media probably as much as I am. And I think he works as much as I do, because my fans, you guys know I work like 20 jobs. He does too. But we're just going to just boil it down to, he is Miami raised. He is a hot Latino. He is a host, blogger, father to fur baby Indiana Jones, who has, I think Indiana has his own Instagram and stuff too, doesn't he?
Does.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's on there.
He's a popular little dude.
He is. He's very popular. He is the Yum Yum Foodie, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and there's Bono's still doing.
Yeah, well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cool guy, my buddy, Eddie Zamora.
Oh, thank you so much, James. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome.
It.
Yes, you are. Now, we were talking before the show that I don't know where you came from, but suddenly you're in my orbit, which is a good thing for social media.
Is it? Okay.
It is.
Sure.
It means that you are doing your job of getting yourself out there. Think about that.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I work my butt off.
Yes,
I
do.
When I don't have a day off.
I don't either. I know how that is. I'm trying to work on one, but I know how that is. You need to work on one at least. But why I bring that up is that because people always wonder, well, how do you get yourself out there? How do people? You never know who's watching or who's seeing or whose orbit you'll get into. And the fact that I can't remember where I first saw you or where it started to happen, but you were in, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing. The fact that anybody, we were talking earlier, I was like, my big thing is that anybody takes the time to spend a second out of their day, acknowledging something that I put up online or a picture of a steak that I ate or something like that. Man, that's huge. It's the only thing we don't get back is time.
That's very true. That's very true. And he does put some pictures of some food look good. And drinks, too.
Yes, I do.
You do. Oh, we love some drinks. And next time you come on the show, I'll have to have a drink or something.
Fair enough.
And it's something that you like, and we'll have it on here.
Good.
But okay, so folks, I put down that you're a foodie. You do wine, you do products. I mean, I kind of want to know the beginnings of where all this came from for you.
Okay. Well, you mentioned earlier that I'm a host, mm-hmm. and that's kind of the origin of this. When I started doing theater in high school, I played baseball, so I was one of those jock theater people.
Oh, how funny! Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to meet girls. Let's be honest here. That was the only, and I was didn't work out too well. But I was super shy and had zero game whatsoever. But life works in mysterious ways. And I started getting into acting. I kind of fell in love with that. I don't know what it was. Whether it was like I would do impressions of people when I was a kid, or I'd be watching in living color and I'd reenact the sketches or something when I was a kid. That kind of stuff. That stuff really inspired me. And then I started doing it in college, and through a series of circumstances, I got an ad in the paper that my mom told me to check out, and it was for some network owned by NBC called Mundos.
Oh, yes.
Okay, which is a bilingual network. Yes, and at the time, I guess they had been on for a year, and they were 100% Spanish, and they were looking to mix it up. So I went to an audition for some show called Chat, and there was a ton of people there, and lo and behold, I ended up being one of the last 4 people that did this talk show every day, 5 days a week, live, and greatest experience of my life, to be honest with you. That's how I started. So
it's interesting. Let's break it down a little bit. It's interesting that you actually, one of your first jobs in the business, you were able to do a bilingual job.
Yeah, right? Especially now where everything's bilingual, because this was a while ago. You
said the paper. You said an ad in the paper. That's how you dated yourself. I'm ad in the paper.
An ad in the Miami Herald. I know. Yeah, not exactly the most stellar publication, but anyway, I read the sports section, and they did have a weekend section which had this thing that my mom cut out for me. Go mom, right?
Yes.
And anyway, I went to that. I did that for a year. The show ran its course, and then here I am, having a show on quote unquote on cable television to not having a job anymore. And I was young. I didn't, you're not prepared for that. So I did, of course, the smartest thing. Move to Los Angeles. That's always, the smartest idea. Not always the smartest idea, but it was, I guess, at the time, the smartest idea for me. And I ended up out here, and like many actors, you're trying to make ends meet.
Right.
It's not like you're like, oh, let me hand you another TV show. You had a show before.
Right. They don't do that at all, unfortunately.
Yeah. But anyway, I was working in catering. Some way, shape, or form. I used to work at a hotel here in LA. The crazy scene kind of Sunset Strip hotel, which is like, I mean, it's funny because I never kind of dove into that world, but I was surrounded by it. It was kind of, I saw everything. I saw, I saw the craziness that is what you hear about in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I lost myself for a second. Sorry about that.
No.
I mean, fair enough.
Well, that's how life goes. It's a good experience.
Yeah, no, it was a good experience, and I started working in catering. That's my point, and that's kind of where I started to fall in love with food. Before I did that TV show originally, I had gone to Europe, and that was my first experience. Kind of like, oh my God, this is wild. This is what wine tastes like.
Right. Right.
I had been used to drinking whatever it is that I had in a red Solo cup,
Yeah.
And I kind of got why people spent money on certain things, and I also got how intimidating it could be to not know what to spend money on. So that was a big thing for me. I said, oh my gosh, now I'm learning about wine. I'm learning about this. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. And that's essentially the fledgling stage of the Yum Yum Foodie. That's where I got into cooking. I had got it to, chefs wouldn't show up. Oh, here, Eddie, here's some $40 a piece Neiman Ranch steaks. You're cooking for a very, very high-end celebrity's family. Guess what? The grill's on, so are you cool with that?
Oh my God.
And me being, the yes man, I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll figure it out.
You like me. Yeah, like, I'll do it. I can do it.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll figure it out. And it worked out, man. I killed, but anyway, it was great.
So let's go back to, so when you were hosting, like, how much did you enjoy it? I mean, like, how much, because I host, obviously, everybody knows I host shows. I mean, how was it for you?
It was the best and the most exhausting experience of my life, as funny as it sounds, because sometimes, people say, oh, you do something on TV that's not tiring. That's not, man.
Yes, it
the
is.
mental exhaustion that I got from this particular show, and the show that I did was a forum, kind of like a Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, except with 4 Latinos.
Wow.
And you know how we can be.
Yes, I do.
Quote unquote. Yeah. So it would get heated. We'd be talking about every topic that you could think of because it was no holds barred, and we had phone callers.
Oh wow!
So you just had to be kind of on your toes because you never knew what was coming at you.
Now, was it English to Spanish? Was it Spanglish? Or
it was Spanglish.
It was Spanglish.
Okay. We had guests like John Leguizamo on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had John Leguizamo. Sorry, I'm going back in time here. We had some Spanish recording artists, that kind of thing too. It was fun.
Okay, so it's no holds barred. You guys are going back and forth, talk about the view for people in Spanish, I guess, or something like that. You guys just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And it is but doing TV is a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work.
No, it wasn't. We had to produce a show a week. So here you are, and I commend you because you're producing something constantly. I was responsible for one of our shows a week, and we were the moderator for that particular show. So that's kind of was my experience producing, which was also, you learn so much about this business doing that.
Are those shows anywhere online anywhere?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Have you ever seen any of them since then?
Every once in a while, I've run into somebody who watched it, which is hysterical to me. Like, go into Starbucks and they'll look at me funny, and I'm like, nobody knows who the hell I am. And then this dude, a guy asked me, I'm like, yeah, that was me. And he's like, oh, I remember what you said. I go, man, I said that.
They do remember. Trust me, they do remember.
I'm like, I don't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone...
but they do remember.
Yeah.
Some fans they're like elephants, they do not forget.
No.
Trust me.
They don't run it. That's great. That just means they acknowledge you and they took the time.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
So funny. So you did the hosting, then you signed it. And so how did it feel initially when the show was ended and you had no other show to go to?
Man, I felt naked, I felt desperate, I felt like, what do you do now?
Okay.
Because you just don't know. I think I was 20, or my early 20s, 22, 23 years old, and I was, nothing can really mentally prepare you for that, which I think now, where I am now in my life, I could handle a situation like that 100 times better, and I think that's probably why, my brand has evolved the way it has, because I'm more, I guess I'm more present to that and more aware. Yeah.
Now, so at that point, you learned the lesson of, you're only as good as your last show.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't carry over into new work. What made you leave Miami?
What made me leave Miami? There was nothing going on in Miami when I was there. There was no... Can't think of the name of the show that was on USA because I never watched it.
Oh, yeah.
But there was...
They can't even either.
Yeah, there was nothing really going on for me. It was this network. We didn't know what was going on. NBC had just bought them.
Oh, yeah, they're part of that.
There was all these things going on. Were they going to move to LA?
Oh, okay.
Were they going to... And I'm like, all right, well... I took a year and I saved as much money as I could.
Good.
And I got out of Miami. It was scary because I had a mother who was really ill with cancer.
Okay.
I left everybody.
Wow.
I left my future wife at the time.
Yeah.
You know, she moved just shortly after, but it was
okay.
You know, just put everything into a truck.
But you felt you felt like the insides of you had to do this, right?
Yeah, I felt compelled.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt compelled and like I was. That there's something that I could do, whether it was facilitating people, and I ended up being in food. You know, who would have thought at the time? I love food,
right?
But I didn't know that I was somebody who could, I guess, present information that way in an honest way, and also kind of learn it. You know,
yeah.
But I felt like I had something to do creatively, and I felt unfulfilled creatively in Miami. Yeah. Now Miami's taken off, and I love my hometown.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a diehard.
I know you are.
There's a Miami Heat rug in front of my door. My dog has jerseys of every team. Talk about a dream job as like a sportscaster in Miami. That's probably... I can sit there and talk Miami sports all day, but that's not what I'm here for. Dude, it's crazy.
Yes, and your phone number starts out 305.
It
so
does.
you are in Pitbull working it out.
Like I sent you that message. You said, still have the same number. To quote BIG, call the crib. Well, same number, different hood, but it's all good.
It's all good. That's right. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And so you felt compelled, because that's a good lesson for people when your insides and your gut are telling you that you need to go somewhere, go a direction, you decide to listen.
Right.
And you decide to do it.
Yeah, but I'm also a realist. You know, I'm also a realist. I'm also of the fact of, okay, well, you know, how do I excel in this? What do I have that makes me special? Or what can I do? Well, okay, I know how to express myself now because I did this television show. I know how to speak Spanish relatively fluently. I mean, I'd say 99% fluently.
Yeah.
But what do I do?
Right.
You know, and I was going out, and I was very, very lucky when I came out here. Somebody had seen my show, an agent had seen my show, and I had an agency, which is, in retrospect, you know, hearing friends and people trying to find I just had it. It worked out for me that way, and I was already eligible to join the unions and that kind of a thing because of different commercials and things that I had done while I was living in Miami. So I've been very lucky. I was in rooms of very famous casting people, and I would be in rooms and I'd be like, oh man, I know this person. I'd be auditioning for the same part as people that I'd see on TV.
Right.
You know, and so I'm very, very thankful. But at one point in time, I said, I'm tired of being at the mercy of somebody else. And I said, this is not going to work for me. I can't base my value on what this person thinks of me. And honestly, that day was the most, like, the weight that was lifted off of me was incredible. I called everybody, all my agents. I fired everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I said, goodbye. I got to go. And then I didn't know what I was going to do, but I said, I got to go.
Right.
I said, this is not working for me because I'm losing my integrity as a human being. Or it could be. I really, I wasn't losing my integrity yet, but
you could have.
I could have. And I said, no, man, mom and dad didn't bring me in this world and didn't raise me to do that. So I didn't. I said, hell with this. I gotta figure something out. I love Los Angeles. I love this city.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Well, you bring up a point of your parents, because your parents came from Cuba.
Yeah, they did.
And they fled, correct? Like many
political refugees.
Yeah, they came. So you must have grown up with that influence and energy of that. We came for a better life.
Absolutely.
From what we actually, have you been back to Cuba since?
I've never been. No, in fact, one of my goals, one of my bucket lists is to shoot content in Cuba, whether it's a show, whether it's food content. So I mean, there's so many compelling stories there, and I think my story, being a first generation born in the United States, and the way I connect to that country, I see footage of Cuba, and my eyes well up, man. It's hard for me, even hearing like Celia Cruz music sometimes, and thinking of my hometown and thinking of my parents and everything. It's I want to go. I want to go, and it's just a matter of when and how. Right. Yeah.
But you carry them with you, obviously, in your work and stuff today. Your parents' philosophies and their hard work and
absolutely. Yeah, no, my dad was a drummer, jazz drummer.
I love that.
And it's so funny because I was here early, and you know, I got to break all Latino
stereotypes.
I got to break them all because my dad
was
was a drummer, so he had to show up to a gig so early in order to set up the drums.
Oh, that's right.
You know, and my dad always showed me that. He's like, no, you being late somewhere is a disrespect of other people's time.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
So I'm always present to that. So like to be on time. Always like to be on time. And my mom, my mom studied piano and played piano, so they kind of threw the music influence at me, and I went to music school as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you play piano still at all?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been playing since I was 4. I just recently took up the guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they say guitar and piano are not that far off, they say, in some ways, in terms of learning and notes and all that.
They're not, no, but I studied music theory, and it's kind of a challenge sometimes for me, because a piano has 88 keys,
right,
and only in this place can I recreate that same note.
Yeah.
On a guitar, I can play it in 4 different places.
Oh, that's true.
So that can be a little challenging for me, just the math of how the guitar works, but it's a challenge, so I like challenging myself.
I'm not surprised. With you, I'm not surprised. No, so that's very cool, because I always say that I carry my ancestry kind of on my shoulders, but it's not like a burden or anything. It's just like they're part of it. They're like my wings. They're with me. They're kind of like, I take them with me as I go through life, because we're so fortunate to be we're sitting here together.
Oh my God, man.
You know, on stage on a TV show.
It's 3:15. There's people that are working their asses off right now in the sun, and I'm lucky to be in air conditioning. You know, that's the way.
Seriously.
That's the way I look at life.
Okay, so you get to LA. And you're like, okay, I'm firing everybody. I'm going to make my way. What is one of the first things you decided? What came to your head? Like, what came?
Well, speaking of bilingual, I was doing a theater presentation here at a bilingual theater. And we used to do shows in English, and then the next week do shows in Spanish. And I don't remember exactly what it was. If it was one in English, one in Spanish, or whatever it was. Okay. And then I did a show called The Birdcage, and I played the son who's getting married, Val, in The Birdcage. That's so funny. And the girl who played my mother at the time, another Cuban girl, she said, hey, you know, I think you're a good speaker. You have a good voice.
You do.
Are you comfortable talking in front of groups? And I go, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. She said, you know, I work and I do auto shows. I'm like, what do you mean you do auto shows? I'm like, what do you mean you do it? What does that mean?
Yes.
You know, I'm like, what does that mean? Right. I'm like, you're a booth babe, or what is that in? You know, but that's like a term that comes out there.
I know.
And she said, no. She said, I work for a company. I travel the world. I travel the country, and I think it's a great job for an actor.
You basically curate what's going on at the show for some company.
Pretty much. And then she said, here's the number for this lady. Give her a call or send her an email. And I was like, whatever. And I put it away. I didn't pay attention to it. Then one day I said, all right, you know what? Let me just send this lady an email. I did. Some way, shape, bear with me, it's because it's been a while, but I met with a brand. I was very lucky to meet with a luxury brand that kind of fell into the Yum Yum Foodie, and that's where I'll get to the tie-in for the Yum Yum Foodie.
We're getting there, yes.
And they offered me a job. And I got the job offer, and I was like, I don't know. I'll call you back. I don't know if I want it. It's just, you know, things you don't know, right?
Right.
And then I said, yeah, let me do this job. So here I am now working for a luxury brand. I go to some training. I barely know anything about cars.
Okay.
But me being the way that I am, and I like to learn, and I like to I guess, be the best that I can be in whatever that is. I wanted to excel, and that's what I tried to do. And then I said to myself, how can I make this job into, like I say, lemonades out of, even though this isn't lemons, but how can I really kind of put icing on the cake of what this job is? I said, in my head, every presentation that I do, every time I get on a microphone, I am training for the day that I get to do it for something that I'm truly 100% passionate about.
That's true.
And that's what I did. I said, let me create, or let me use this as a tool for honing my skills.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I did. It's funny that you decided to take this and make it an educational experience for yourself, and for something you can apply to later. Like you were thinking about the future. You were being present, you're thinking about the future, and you're kind of turning it into something a little bigger than what it was.
Absolutely. And because of this job, I mean, I don't mind saying the name of the brand that I work for. I work for Lexus.
Okay.
And they are a brand who, and this is not a commercial for them, but they're a brand who really focuses on a lifestyle.
They do.
And feeling like a member of a family. And there's different things that I learned from them. Things like a term in Japanese called Kaizen. And Kaizen means continuous improvement. There's no best, only better. So and that's the philosophy they have as a brand. So I bring that into my life. That, you know, you're not the best at anything. There's always people that are better, and you just have to continuously improve. And I love that word.
Me too, I like that.
And then they sponsor things like food and wine. So all of a sudden I get asked on the phone and say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Are you open to working Aspen Food and Wine? Like, Aspen Food and Wine. And then me, being the Cuban that I am, I go online, I'm like, how much are tickets to Aspen Food and Wine? Oh yeah, you can pay me to be there. Yeah, sure.
Funny. Yeah.
It's all sold out, and this is how much tickets are. And okay, and before I know it, I'm working next to chefs that Lexus has hired, and I'm getting to taste foods that I wouldn't have had opportunity. I mean, I could have had opportunities to, but they were just presented to me, and I enjoyed this curated experience.
Yeah.
And I had friends that were calling me all the time, saying, "Hey, I'm in this town. Where do I try? Oh, I'm in Austin. Where do I go?"
Right.
And then finally, my wife is like, "Why don't you just write about it?" And I'm like, "Man, nobody reads anything online." That's what I said to her. I go, "I don't read anything online."
Yes.
She said, "Why don't you write about it?" I said, "Okay." And then I came up with the name, the Yum Yum Foodie, and I guess the rest is kind of history. But there's still little moments here and there.
Well, how did Yum Yum Foodie come out? Because it's funny because I've always taught that your title, your name should kind of explain a little bit of what you do in the name. Like I'm the super organizer. That kind of gives you an idea of okay, there's something going on there with organizing it, and he's good at it. So that's like that. So I think it's a funny name, but I think it explains you. What's Yum Yum Foodie?
Yum Yum Foodie for me is just that curated experience, and those are terms that I say.
Yum,
well, I was told that I was a foodie by somebody. I was like, "What the hell's a foodie?"
Yes.
I had no idea. So that kind of fell in there.
Okay.
And then yummy is something I will refer to anything. I'll see a nice car, be like, "That car's yummy." It's just like, it just kind of stuck. And I don't know, Yummy Foodie didn't sound right to me, but Yum Yum did, or the Yum Yum Food, because I guess somebody else has Yum Yum, and that's probably why I don't remember. I guess
weird!
So.
Oh, how weird!
Yeah. And then that's kind of what stuck.
So what is a foodie?
To me, a foodie is, I guess, an aficionado of food. An aficionado of for me, the experience of either it's going to a restaurant or cooking at home, or just the creative aspect of food, because we're so lucky, at least, you and I, we're very lucky that we live in a place where food is more than just getting us up in the morning and getting us to work. We get to experience, or we're surrounded by these wonderful dining experiences.
Yes, very true.
And I kind of appreciate that. I appreciate that for what it is, and being a person who's creative, I found the beautiful creativity in food, and these chefs are like painters to me.
Yeah,
I
like that.
And that was, I guess, now to define what a foodie is, it's a term that sometimes gives me like nails on a chalkboard.
Okay.
Because it, what am I? At the end of the day, I'm just a person who says what I like, and I say what I don't like. But I think based on my experience, I have a way of facilitating that information to people
I
in an authentic way.
Yeah, I've called you kind of like a food curator, a wine curator. I think it's kind of because foodie's been around for a long time. It's a word that's been around for a while at this point. And I know people have made fun of it, of course, like for hipsters. Like, you're a foodie, everybody's a foodie now. I'm like, it's an industry now. I remember when it first kind of started, people were just kind of talking about it. But now, there are these blogs like yours are out there, everybody see, and there's TV shows, and foodies are everywhere.
It's exciting.
In every city.
It's really exciting, because one of the things that's kind of funny is you meet so many chefs, and not all of them are people that would be comfortable on camera. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily have that gift, and that's okay. But I'm lucky that it works out that I can express myself and kind of describe what's going on, and I always find that like every city has something beautiful to offer, man. Even like I tell people I'm going to Detroit, and they'll give me that look.
Yeah, they do.
They give me that look.
But there's parts of Detroit, there's some nice stuff there, actually.
Detroit's awesome.
Yeah, there is.
Detroit food-wise? Oh, my God. That sounds out of control.
Yeah. There's some good stuff there. Now, they say it and they get all... I know there's other problems going on there, but there's some good stuff in Detroit, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So... Oh, man, I don't know where I'm all over the place. But
you're doing fine. No, it's good. No, but the thing is that the foodie thing it actually is now an industry.
Absolutely.
And you guys are curators. You guys are presenters. You're taking something and you're showing to us, this is what we like, this is what we recommend to you. This is we invite you to maybe, you're really... We're presenters. You're telling people kind of what you see out there, and in a way.
Yeah, and my goal personally is not to go out there and say disparaging things about brands. That's not my MO. Right. But my MO is, if I like something, I'm passionate about it. Like I could sell ice to an Eskimo if I believed in this ice.
Right.
That's the way that I am.
Seriously. Right.
Yeah, that's the way that I am.
Yeah.
But I that's been the blessing too of having this brand, is the freedom of saying no. That is a freedom that when it is bestowed upon you, it is incredible. Yeah. It is uplifting. It really is, and you can elevate whatever you do because you have that freedom.
Mm-hmm. When you have to say, or you feel like you have to say yes to everything, not good.
No, exactly. And I don't say yes to everything.
I don't either. It's good to say no sometimes. It really is good to say no. Now, okay, so with the foodie stuff, okay, so you're putting something together. You got the name Yum Yum Foodie.
Mm-hmm.
Then did you know what was next? Your wife suggested writing about it, so obviously a blog came probably next, right?
Yeah, the blog came next, and then in my head, some way, shape, or form, I don't remember if I heard it in an interview or I saw it somewhere that people would kind of take your name and try to sell it back to you, or take your website address and try to sell it back to you.
Yeah.
So I said, hell no, I'm gonna get everything I can get that falls under the Yum Yum Foodie, and that's what I did.
He did.
That's what I did. No, I did across social media platforms. I said I got to get everything, and as something comes out, at some point when I guess you have X amount of audience or whatever. Sometimes apps will send you a message ahead of time saying, "Hey, do you want your name?" before it goes out. I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I want it. Thank you. Yes.
So
I did that, and then I started the blog, and all I could relate to really was, what experiences did I have that had pictures of? How do I take a picture?
Okay.
I don't even know how to take a picture.
Okay.
Do I want it to look too professional? I go, no, I don't want it to look too professional because it kind of turns me off.
Yeah.
I kind of like raw. That raw vibe, like if it was an unplugged concert, I like to hear that. I don't want to hear an over synthesized.
Yeah.
So that was the same thing for me. I said, no, I don't want it
look.
to. Yeah, I want it to look kind of gritty. I mean, I don't want it to look gross.
Right.
I want it to look, pleasantly appealing to eat.
Yeah.
Pleasant pictures, pleasant whatever. But I said, what is my look? What is my voice? And we were talking about a particular show that I listened to on the radio, and what an inspiration that has been for me, just as far as being honest with my audience. And it's the Howard Stern show. I'm a huge fan. But it's that being honest with people. And I said, that's my voice. That's my voice, whatever it is. Speak in train of thought. And I would sit there and I would write this huge 2-page thing. And I'm like, man, nobody's going to read that. I said, you know what? Write it short. Write it in train of thought. Use a microphone to dictate what you say, and then maybe fix some punctuation in there in between. But that's not your goal. So I started writing and starting everything with pardon the punctuation.
I saw that. I saw that. But I was like, yes.
Dude, I got straight A's in English. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, I can't deal.
That's
I
so
can't
funny.
deal. It's just got to be quick, straight, and to the point.
Yeah. Which is very smart, and that's the thing online, especially with short attention spans.
Yeah.
It's really good to be short and to the point. Yeah, now, I mean, for you, I noticed, because you obviously have the look. You have a look.
Well, thank you. I don't know what that means. But.
It just, you have the look. Good looking guy. But what is that, how does it work for or against you out there? Because you are Latino. You have a Latino last name, and Latino, Eddie could be anything, but you have a Latino last name. How does that work?
Well, my name's Eduardo. It's Eduardo, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
How has it worked for me? I think it's been beneficial. For example, I had a Facebook video for a product that was sent to me, and I loved this particular product. So I said, this product is dope. Let's try to put together something that I could shoot a video of for the Super Bowl. Posted the video. I want to say it was very proud of this. I had almost 150,000 views in like 4 or 5 days.
Good.
For the Super Bowl. It was great. And when I look, I was like, my God, I have such a huge Latino audience. I go, okay, well, that works for me.
Yeah.
When you look at the statistics, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really helped me out, because the same way we do this interview in English, I could do it in Spanish just as easily.
Right.
And you wouldn't know. There's so many times, especially here in LA, people don't think I speak Spanish, which I love.
Oh, how funny.
All the time.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. Maybe they think I don't think I'm Persian. They think I'm Middle Eastern. I don't know.
Okay, I can see that. West Coast folks think Latinos they're all Mexican, obviously, and they're all either like super dark. They're dark or dark. There's Latinos of all shades and colors. And I had Jaden Douglas on my show recently, and she's on telenovela, and she's blonde.
Yeah.
And she's like, but she's from Puerto Rico and was raised.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about that and saying people just, in the West Coast reason they have, in the East Coast they get it.
Yeah.
Because you see the whole spectrum of Dominicans and Puerto Rico. There's the whole spectrum. But West Coast, it seems like it's always, I'm like, but they're white looking Mexicans too. Everybody's like, it's like you see them looking at you going, is he really Latino?
It is so much fun for me to walk up somewhere, think that they don't, and then just speak to them in Spanish, and to see people's faces just like, what?
Yeah.
To me, if you look like you speak Spanish, I'm going to speak to you in Spanish. I don't mean to be rude. That's just me practicing, That's me getting the opportunity to practice my second language. So, it is what it is. Yeah.
They're like, I'm Indian. No.
Fair enough.
That's kind of funny. I love that. Okay, so the blog's coming up. You found pictures. You start getting that out there. How hard or easy was it to start the blog?
The hard part is doubting yourself. The easy part is doing it.
Okay.
So the hard part is this good enough? You just got to put it out there.
Okay.
You just got to put it out there and be honest. Whatever that is. Don't try to make a certain amount of people happy. Don't try to make certain people unhappy. Because if people connect with you, they're going to connect with you. And like we were talking about earlier, I am my brand.
Yes.
So if people connect with me and they know that I'm not BSing them, it'll be transparent. And that's what I tried to do. So whatever I did, I was quick and to the point. And progressively, everything I put up gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter because people have less time and less time and less time. And that's cool.
You do.
That's totally cool.
And the thing about that I noticed as an outsider about you was your energy. There was a certain energy that came across your stuff, your writing and your videos and whatever, that was like, this guy is really engaging. Like, I really want to watch him talk about this one thing for 30 seconds.
I appreciate it.
Or I really want to read it. And it's like, that's something, I mean, people, they have a lot of options. That's, you know, that's something that's an admirable thing for you.
Well, one thing that I learned to do, and I don't know if that helps engagement, if somebody who's out there maybe feels like, how can I be more engaging? Actually listening, as opposed to waiting for somebody to finish talking to speak. It's two different things. And I think once you listen, people connect to you differently. I've run into people that I've had a conversation with 3 years earlier, and I remember the conversation, and they look at me like I'm crazy.
Right, me too.
But it's that thing.
Yeah.
It's listening. That's I think a huge thing for engaging.
Yes, active listening. I talk about all the time because active listening makes you a better actor, makes you a better host, makes you a better father, son, husband, wife. I mean, like, it's such a good thing to learn how to listen.
Well, all those experiences that I've done, whether it was working for the car company, doing auto shows, doing all that, has brought me into a place where I was doing all of these things at the same time and kind of prepping for whatever the next endeavor is.
Now, one of the things I think you did, because I follow you on everything,
I want to
say it was Periscope. This was a while back. Were you hired by, was it a cruise line to Periscope for them? Like, how does that even work?
Well, I can't say an exact number per se as far as what followers you need to have or anything like that. I just remember at one point in my life doing this, all of a sudden people just started reaching out because of course there's a benefit for them to have you there. Yeah. And then I was given the opportunity to go on the maiden voyage for this Norwegian cruise ship. And given the opportunity to Periscope Pitbull, who was the MC and kind of the godfather of the ship, quote unquote, and breaking the champagne bottle on it, and did a show. And I got to scope it and then spend a few days on the ship and really kind of take in that experience. And I sincerely loved it. So it was.
So great. I mean, you basically, just to people get this down. They hire you. They give you money.
Yeah.
To go on a cruise.
Absolutely.
To Periscope Pitbull, who I love. Pitbull, fellow, Miamian. Pitbull, and basically you're being paid to Periscope parts of the concert, right? Yeah. Parts of the backstage, like all kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I was lucky enough, and this is just the kind of thing that'll happen through an evolution. Okay. For me, it was one day I had 3,000, let's say, followers, and I went to a Michael Simon, who's a famous chef. I went to Michael Simon's restaurant in Cleveland, wrote about it. I loved it so much, wrote about it, posted it, went to sleep, woke up, he had reposted it and started following me, and overnight I went to like 5,000 followers. It's that kind of a thing. So at some point, there's going to be little moments that are catalysts to build that audience, whatever that entails for you, whatever it is. And then people just start to reach out. And I was lucky that I had a management company, I guess, saw something in what I was doing, and I guess maybe my my ability to do to host or do whatever they found a way for them to make money. Yeah, of course, absolutely, and that's okay.
That's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Absolutely, and they reached out, and that has also helped me as well because you feel like you have somebody on your side. You don't feel like you're alone out there because it is a challenge in the blogger world.
Well, it's a challenge. Period. We've picked industries that aren't stable. We picked industries that can be racist, homophobic, ageist. Anything. We pick these industries that are they're not that easy to be in.
No, they're not. But I'm thankful that I have the right mind space to handle all that stuff. Because it could easily turn you off. You get people that say nasty things to you. You get people that say, and it's all good.
You were talking about that before.
But they're saying stuff about you. That's all that matters.
Exactly. And publicity is good publicity. No. But we were talking about this on before the show. But that's the thing. We're both on social media. You're on a lot of stuff. You're really good at it. And so, how do you navigate the social media world for yourself?
So I'll give you a prime example. Yes. Tomorrow there's only really one scheduled post. I call it scheduled post that I do every day because people will tell you, you need to post consistently. I go, man, I do whatever works for me. I don't follow a set formula, but there is one thing that I post, and it's every Tuesday. I tend to make fun of these duck lips pictures.
Yes, I do.
I make fun of them because it's just the most ridiculous thing in the world. Because some people are like, what's the best advice for being on social media and getting followers? I go, be a hot chick. That's the best advice.
Right,
but it's only going to work till you're 35. So after that, listen. Anyway, but I tend to kind of make fun of this, and I said, man, how can I incorporate this into my brand? How can I make something that may catch on? I don't know, but it'll make me laugh, because I think if it makes me laugh, then the people who get me are gonna laugh too. The people that don't get me don't get it, and that's all good. I'm not for everybody.
Yeah,
there's how many billion people in the world?
That's true.
It's good. It's
all
good.
That's good. That's fine.
As long as maybe 1 million of them are cool with me, it's all good.
Yes.
So I started douchey duck lips coffee selfie. Because I said I need to have something food related, because I can't just do a douchey duck lips picture.
Oh, wow, okay, makes sense. Yes.
So every Tuesday morning, I post a photo, and it's usually, I try to get creative, whether I'm in a different city. I try to do like a landmark or something that makes me laugh.
Yes.
And it has to make me laugh, and it has to make me cringe at how douchey it is. It's just vile. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that's gross. That's when I know I got the right picture. So that's when I started that hashtag, and I do that every Tuesday.
Yeah, I remember that. I see those. I did not get the story behind it, but I do see your news. I'm like, and folks have responded to it. So I'm like, what's that? Okay.
In fact, tomorrow, my this is a shot in the dark, but it's Zoolander 2 comes out this weekend.
Yes.
So tomorrow I will be posting my Blue Steel douchey duck lips coffee selfie.
Yes.
And tagging, of course, Zoolander 2 and Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
And my end all goal is to really get celebrities to have a blast, kind of acknowledging how silly those duck lips pictures are.
Got it.
And kind of engaging me in that way. And I've had people engage me, which is fun. So it just the fact that if you
Ben
click
Stiller,
that hashtag,
do it.
Oh my God! What Derek Zoolander, do it, please.
Oh yeah, yes, Derek Zoolander. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's so funny.
And maybe Hansel as well. Hansel could do it.
Yes, but no, yourself. That's the you bring up a good point, because I have a couple of hashtags out there from different shows that I've done that I've kind of taken off, and it is one of those kind of things of whatever can work for you is what kind of works for you.
Yeah. When we were talking earlier about, I was telling you how annoyed I get with direct messages, and if folks who don't know what direct messages is on social media, if you follow somebody, because it's so funny, this terminology, if we would have talked about it 10 years ago, you'd think it was a cult.
I know.
How many followers is be like David Koresh.
Yes, anyway, exactly.
So people will send you direct messages, and they'll always be asking me, please retweet my beats, or please retweet my whatever, or people just always want something.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, idiots, look at my thing. Don't be silly. Read my douchey duck lips. If you want me to post something, take a douchey duck lips coffee selfie and tag me in it. Be smart.
Right.
I said be smart, because that's what I would do.
Me too. Yeah.
If I wanted to get a particular brand to interact with me online, hello.
Exactly.
What do they do? What is their deal? Anyway.
Right.
So, but that's the way that I think. My mind is always kind of like a military mind in that sense, like a chess game.
Yes.
Me
too. I'm always trying to think of different things to navigate through and add to my brand of some sort. And we talked about that because basically you are your brand.
Yeah, I am. I didn't know what I was
getting
into.
We were talking about that, and you're like, I am. Like, you are. I'm stuck in here. You're a brand. I mean, you're a personality at this point.
It's a blessing, man. It is a blessing because of this brand. I told you I'm going to South Beach Food and Wine. I'm hosting my first event as the Yum Yum Foodie.
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's
which
exciting.
Is gonna be a blast. Yeah, I'm doing.
Now, how did that come about?
I love pork.
Okay,
go figure. Hey, I am Cuban.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's walking that fine line, but I love pork. I love it so much. And last year I got hired by the National Pork Board, because I didn't know there was a board of National Pork Farmers, to do some pork recipes. And I said, all right, cool, let's do them. So the National Pork Board is doing an event in South Beach Food and Wine called Swine and Wine, and I'm being hired to essentially go down there and socially amplify the event. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna talk to all the chefs. I'm gonna engage the people that are hanging out there. I'm gonna try the food and just have a good time.
I know, man. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be wicked, man.
How do you stay in shape? I'm like, I don't know. I'll be staying in shape while I have food.
This morning I was up at 5 in the morning. I was up at 5 in the morning, and I was exercising. I mean, and I don't go crazy. It's just about being disciplined, and being the super organizer. It's creating a schedule.
Yeah.
People say, I need 15 hours of sleep, or I don't necessarily buy into that.
Me either.
There's a doctor by the name of David Agus, and he's a cancer doctor, but he talks about kind of keeping a regimen in your life, whether you work well on 5 hours, whether you work well on 6 hours, but keeping that same kind of a schedule. And that's what I do, man. I wake up at 5, and I have my me time. I like going to the gym when there's not that many people there, and that's
smart.
what I do.
That's smart. Because I'm like, food. Oh, I love food. But I was always told that you can eat whatever you want as long as you exercise. Like, you can kind of eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, and when I'm not, people are like, oh my God, how do you eat all that? And I go, if you look on my Instagram, and I posted only this amount of photos, if that's all I ate in a week, I would look Somalian.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
I would look like a Somali pirate.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
If I only ate 4 dishes a week,
right.
So what am I eating the time in between? I'm pretty healthy otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I try my best.
Now, when it comes to, do you like? Well, that's actually a dumb question. Do you like? Do you like food more, or do you like drinks more?
Well, I mean, you can't drink too much without eating.
I know they kind of go hand in hand for me. I mean, that's gonna.
That was one of those things where working for the auto company when I would travel, I would get to go to Napa Valley, and here I am.
Oh my God, I love Napa.
A Cuban kid from Miami, doesn't know anything about wine, and it's so intimidating because I remember going out on that date. And being that guy at the table where you're like, man, I don't want to order the cheapest bottle, but I can order the most expensive bottle. I'm like, what the hell do I know how to order?
Right. And what goes with fish, what goes with chicken, what goes with beef.
To be honest with you, when it comes to that, I always say, what do you like? There's no set rule. They always say, oh, this goes with fish.
Well, I like Pinot Grigio. That's one of my favorite go-tos. Or I like a deep Burgundy. That's one of my go-tos.
But if you're in the mood for a Pinot Grigio with that steak one day, guess what? You can enjoy it.
It's fine? Okay.
Yeah, unless somebody else is paying for you.
Oh my God.
When they tell you need to have it.
Right, that's fine.
That's my philosophy on it. It really is. Yeah,
okay.
And I understand you have master sommeliers who study all these nuances, and I have total respect for that. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't taste good to you, then why does it matter?
You can't enjoy it either.
No, absolutely not.
That's interesting. Okay, no, I like that. Okay, so when I order that Pinot Grigio next time at Morton's, when I get that steak, don't look at me crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm enjoying myself. Because I have to kind of ask. I mean, so what is one of your favorite meat places in Los Angeles?
Favorite meat places in Los Angeles is actually not a meat place.
Okay.
It's an Italian restaurant in downtown LA. There's one on Beverly too. It's called Terroni.
Oh.
And it's from Toronto, actually.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. But I had the blessed experience of eating there a few times, and they make a steak that's a Florentine steak, so from Florence.
Yeah.
The whole Mac Daddy butcher, grass fed, yada 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 for 2 people, and it is. Man,
butter, cut it like butter.
It is epic. It is so good.
Oh wow.
That's probably in the top 10 pieces of meat I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh wow. And you've traveled all over the place. In terms of what's a good soup place? I'm always trying to find a good soup place.
A good soup place.
And not even no soup plantation either. I'm talking like a good place for soup.
So, not to sound douchey, but man, in Silver Lake.
Oh.
I know it's Hipsterville.
I like Silver Lake. It's fine.
In Hipsterville, Silver Lake. Nah, man, hipsters are cool. It's all good. But there's a place I believe it's called Pho Cafe.
Oh.
And it's a pho joint.
Yeah.
It's on Sunset and I believe Silver Lake.
Oh, wow.
It's right on the little junction there, close to Sunset Junction.
Yeah, I know that.
And has, of course, and it's LA, no sign.
Yeah.
And it's cash only.
But
everybody that works there is Vietnamese, which is cool, and that is
authentic.
probably my favorite soup place in LA. Like when it was chilly a few weeks ago, and I came into town, I was like, all right.
Exactly.
We're going to Pho Cafe.
Okay, I'm going to try it because every once in a while when it gets really cold, I just want a good, because in San Francisco, I lived there 16 years.
Oh, right.
Another great place for food.
Oof, one of my favorites. My top 5.
So my favorite Mexican restaurant, Don Ramon's. My friends there, of course, and one of my favorite noodle places is Toulon. I remember we went there, and it's in the hood a little bit,
whatever,
of downtown San Francisco.
Okay,
and it's as big as this computer.
But like Soma or what?
It's like it's in between. It's in between downtown and Soma Mission.
Okay,
it's on. I think it's on 6th and Market over there. So it's kind of a little dicey.
Yeah.
A couple blocks there, a little dicey.
Fair enough.
But it's super packed, and it's like I said, it's as big as this table.
It's not the Tenderloin.
No, the Tenderloin. I used to live over there. I lived right above the Tenderloin. It's kind of funny. But no, and even then it has some good food places in Tenderloin too. Mm-hmm. But no, this place, it's been there for 100,000 years. It's so good.
Oh, right on.
And it's called Toulon. I think it closed for a while, then it came back open. Like, don't watch them make the food or whatever. It's whatever. It's just so good.
San Francisco is one of those cities, man.
North Beach. Go to North Beach.
Oh,
a lot of places to eat over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love San Francisco's food.
It's just great.
I ate a lot when I was there. Trust me.
I eat a lot every time I'm there.
Eat and drink.
I got my spots. Yeah.
What is your go-to drink? I know you do a lot of curation of other kinds of drinks, but what is your go-to drink?
My go-to drink has become the Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah, it has become the Manhattan, which is funny because I used to make fun
of old people drinks.
Yeah, pretty much, and I love it. I love it so much. And if they got a barrel-aged one, oh man, that is just dangerous for me. That's good.
Manhattan's actually making a comeback, kind of. I'm seeing people drink them more. Younger people drink them more.
Ton of them. Yeah, ton of them. I love Manhattan. I love another drink called the Negroni, which is an Italian drink made with Campari and Campari. What is Tanqueray? I can't even think of what it is. Gin. Pardon me. Gin and vermouth and sweet vermouth. So it's a red drink served with a lemon peel.
Wow.
But it looks sweet and it's just bitter. It's so good.
Oh, really?
It's so good.
Sound good, actually. I'm the Caribbean, so I'm a rum drinker.
Absolutely.
I'm very much I'm actually a whiskey drinker.
Right
I like
on.
whiskey and bourbon. I like a lot. I love Buffalo Trace and Maker's Mark. But do you have any whiskeys that you kind of like that you've come across?
Oh my God.
That may have not heard of?
Let's talk about whiskey.
I love whiskey.
I love whiskey so much. So I was able to do the Bourbon Trail a few summers ago, which was a great experience.
I've always wanted to do it.
And they got a little pissed at me, but I wrote a thing called Hillbilly Napa. Because that's what I thought the Bourbon Trail was. That's kind of it's kind of like Napa, except it's hillbilly, which is fine.
Which it is. Actually,
it was great.
Yeah.
Like people were great, but it's like hillbilly Napa. You go and you do the whiskey tasting, and you go from instead of winery to winery, you go to distillery to distillery.
Yes.
But I fell in love with a particular bourbon that is called, and it's not Red Stag. Sometimes people confuse it. It's called Stag Jr. Stag Jr. And it's made by Buffalo Trace, because Buffalo Trace owns everything.
Yes, they do.
They own Pappy Van Winkle. They own Blanton's.
Buffalo Trace is so good.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace for the money is such a solid buy. Just like Four Roses. Four Roses bourbon. Four Roses is wonderful, and they also use non-GMO corn, which is a nice thing if you're really conscious of that and you want to stick to a bourbon that that uses non-GMO corn. You can go to Four Roses bourbon. They're a solid one as well.
Okay.
But Stag Jr. The only thing though, I'm going to tell you, it's 128 proof. Wow. Yeah, It'll put some hair in your butt.
Sounds good to me. I'm like,
it's so good.
I won't be going. If I drink it, I'm not going nowhere afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. It's so funny. I'm turning into an old man now because I drink it neat. Like I sit there, be like, "Do you want any ice cubes?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "This is 100." I'm like, "Yeah, it's all good."
I am an old man. I drink it that way.
But
so.
Middle America is coming up with some amazing whiskeys. I've been one of my favorite cities, as funny as it sounds, is Kansas City, Missouri.
I love Kansas City, Missouri. I love
incredible.
Kansas City. No, I agree. I totally agree.
And
I love some Gates Barbecue. Gates Barbecue.
Oh, Gates Barbecue is good.
Jack
Stacks is good.
But no, I love.
They're making whiskey. Whiskey. Detroit's making whiskey, man. Man, there's a place called Two James Distillery. And there you go.
Yeah.
And they came in at the right time. They came in a neighborhood called Corktown in Detroit, right across from the abandoned train station, which is one of the most beautiful buildings. But it's been all windows were blown out, and that whole jive. Yeah. And these cats bought up all of this warehouse space, and they started distilling whiskey. And now it's good. And they use like Michigan products, and it's all about getting that pure Michigan kind of vibe, which is cool.
You said in Kansas City, what was the whiskey down there? What are they doing there?
Oh, it is it's called Rieger.
Okay.
Rieger or Reiger. It's actually affiliated with a property, a hotel and a restaurant there.
Okay.
And it's got another speakeasy that's probably in my top 5 bars that I love in the country.
Well, Kansas City has a Power and Light District.
That's where I stay.
Which is coming up. I have family there, so I go to Kansas many times, and like I said, that's why I know my Go Chicken Go. They have the best sauce I take home with me back to LA. I see. For me, I love traveling the country. It's funny that you're a foodie and wine, because I'm a person who I can tell people I went to so and so in this place, and I went to Bojangles here in South Carolina. And they're like, "How do you know this stuff?"
I love Bojangles.
Yeah, how do you know this? I was like, "Because I travel, I to eat."
Yeah.
I love to eat and try things.
And you connect to people that way because you meet somebody from South Carolina and be like, "Oh my God, I love Bojangles." I
was in Memphis recently with my niece and did Beale Street and all that, but went to the commissary, which has, oh my God, because everybody's barbecue is different.
I've never been to Memphis, so that's on my list.
You need
I need to go to Graceland.
I cried at the musical gates.
Right
I did. I got a little teary-eyed. And I get it. And I wrote my name on the wall, so it says James Lott Jr. was here and a date. but everybody writes their names on the wall. But no, they have a place called the Commissary, which has, because their barbecue is a dry rub kind of barbecue.
Okay.
Apparently that's their thing.
Got it.
So I was like, where's the sauce? Oh, I didn't need any sauce.
That's St. Louis, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, it's the same way. It's the same way. And so, but I've had different barbecue in different places, but Memphis was just, and great drinks there. I went to BB King's bar, went to
nice.
Jerry Lee Lewis's bar, and had great. I mean, just like I love.
I'm dying to go to Tennessee. I'm trying to get out to Music City Food and Wine.
Oh wow, yeah, that's in Nashville, isn't it?
That's in Nashville in September. Yeah, I'd like to kind of incorporate getting to Memphis too. While I'm down there. But that's one of my goals. Let's see. Nashville, if you're on there, send me out there.
Send them.
I'll socially amplify.
It needs more help.
Nashville needs more help.
It needs more help. Well, that's the great thing about your job, is that you get to do literally you can go anywhere in the world to do this.
You can, yeah, and man, it's I'm so lucky. I have so many like as a kid growing up in Miami, we never traveled. You know, my parents weren't rich, so Paris for me was Epcot because they had the France section. You know, that was my whole experience. And the minute, not the minute, but when I turned 18 and I started going to school, and you know, I had an agent in New York, and I got to go to New York for the first time. I was like, I got bit by the bug, and I love it. I love meeting people from all over the world. I love talking to people from all over the world. I don't know. It's not for everybody, but man, I'm so glad that I didn't fall into the generic conundrum of being stuck and doubting myself. You know,
that's a big thing because that will stop you in your tracks when you start doubting yourself. Things don't happen. Inertia happens. Nothing happens, and you're just like, I should have. I could have. Why didn't I?
Yeah, you're your own greatest obstacle.
You are.
I mean, it really is.
Isn't that funny? People don't realize that because they'll blame outward things. Well, because
it's easy to point fingers.
Right.
It's easy to point fingers, but turn it around, man. It's.
I agree.
I mean, again, it's not perfect.
No.
Nothing is perfect.
No, not at all.
But I use this as an example sometimes because I find his story interesting. Whether you know, not even getting into politics or necessarily personal life of the guy. But a guy like who's 18 years old, came to this country, didn't speak a word of English, told him they had to change his name, told him he would never succeed, and he became governor of California. He married a Kennedy, and he became the biggest movie star in the world, and he never had to change his name at the time. So talk about, you know, if that guy can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Talk about a challenge with the English language.
Right.
Come on. You couldn't understand him when you saw the early films, but the guy always bettered himself.
Yeah. And English language is hard.
Oh yeah,
it's much Spanish and French. They all have rules and things, and it's easy to follow.
English is hard.
English is hard because two words mean the same meaning, and two ways you say it. And it's kind of. But no, I give it to him too. No, I always give it to people who come to this country, and you know, my great grandparents came to this country. Maybe they all come to this country and they work it out. You know,
I mean, you know, if
they can do it, we can do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, definitely. And you are doing it. I mean, so what are some of your future kind of goals that you'd like to kind of, obviously even saying things out loud, like what are some things you want to kind of accomplish?
My goal is to do more television, whether that's something on streaming, whether whatever allows me to be creative, you know, and to collaborate, because I love collaborating with creative people. I love meeting creative people and being in that world. So some kind of show. I have a few ideas of things that I want to do, because for me, a big thing for me is compelling. I'm tired of watching people cook. I really am.
How funny. Okay.
I'm tired. I mean, I don't mind people cooking. That's cool. Yeah. But for me, there's the story, and we were talking about that before. And that's what inspires me. That's what touch, moves, and inspires me. Is the story. Yeah. You know, why do I love this dish? Well, you know what? My grandmother used to make it. You know, and growing up in Miami, I remember coming into the house and smelling whatever it was, vaca frita or café con leche, you know, and getting that smell, and people connect to that. And to me, that's compelling, whatever it is. Right. So I want to connect to those stories, and I think there's people understand each other better too. Because like every place has something beautiful to offer. So it's funny.
For me, just briefly, because it's not about me really, but we have a discussion. No, but for the food, it's there's two things. I have two sets of grandparents and things that my one grandmother was Creole, so gumbo was always the major thing at Christmas. And I had a lot of friends who were like, "What's gumbo?" I mean, now it's kind of known more now, but when I was growing up in the '70s, or it wasn't this big thing out here, and it was like, no, gumbo was the crab and the shrimp and the sausage, and it was a certain kind of sausage and the filet, and oh my god, it's like for me being next to my grandmother watching her make it. That's the memory. It made the gumbo taste even better.
Okay, let's shoot it.
Yeah, it's exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's the inspiration.
Right, I get you saying.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
I said, man, if I wouldn't watch this, I can't do it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going into that world. I said, man, I gotta figure out what moves me, because if I'm moved when I do it, I'm gonna move people. Or, you know, people are going to connect to the fact that I'm moving. It may not move you, but at least you know it comes from truth and passion. So.
Well, I always say that the camera doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can't lie to my fans out there and people who are watching. I am who I am, and hopefully it comes across authentic out there. And because when I'm interested, again, when I have a guest I'm interested in, I'm going to talk to you and be interested. And usually it comes across. And so I think what you're doing, it does come across.
Cool, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think it does. Yeah. Now, I ask my guests two questions, the same two questions every time. I do.
Okay.
And I don't tell them in advance. It's like this is what comes to mind for you.
Okay.
Language. I always think language is very important because it can stop us in our tracks and also propel us forward. It's just a major thing. What is one word you think we should take out of our English language?
Really?
Oh.
really? You know that like really? That sound? Maybe it's just in that context. You know, it's like you ever people you ask the same question, they go, really? I'm like, yeah, really. I just said that. So that
I like that.
I guess you can use it in other contexts. But,
yes, I guess. Do you have one in Spanish?
In Spanish, oof. In Spanish, oh my God, Spanish is so. I love cursing in Spanish so much, but I won't. Spanish, which word do I don't like?
Since Mr. Bilingual Man. I'll ask you that. See
How about that? How about Castro? That's a word I'd love to get rid of.
Okay, I like that. Good answer. I like that.
That's a word I'd love to get rid of.
That whole family.
Yeah.
Good answer. Okay. Now, what word do you think we should bring back into our English language?
Ooh, groovy.
Oh, you like groovy?
I love that word. I love that word. It's
the way you say the groovy.
Yeah, man. I say tropical a lot. For me, tropical is not even a climate. It's a state of mind. I'm tropical.
I agree with that.
I'm tropical. So people ask me, hey, how you doing? Tropical. You chilling? I'm tropical, man. Mm-hmm. It's all good. So that's a word I use all the time. So please use it. I love it.
Okay, I like that. Well, I'm always like, I come from island blood, so I always feel I was like an island boy. I always feel that.
Right
I do.
Yeah,
we're from the islands.
Yeah,
we're from the islands. We are. I love it. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. Sincerely, I appreciate it, and I wanted to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you very much. Now, where can folks find you? Because you're everywhere.
Oh,
so where can
please.
they find you?
So I am at the Yum Yum Foodie on everything. So it's theyumyumfoodie.com. I am at the Yum Yum Foodie on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope. If you want to hop on Periscope, I love hopping on there and interacting with people. I do have a blast. Just I say whatever comes to mind.
Yes, he does.
But that's it. The Yum Yum Foodie.
Very good.
On everything. Yeah.
And also on my Breaking Into page on Facebook and stuff, I will post things with him in there. And of course, we're going to follow his career and see what's going on.
Thank you.
He'll be back again at some point. Of course, he's working hard. After he does his 10,000 jobs, he'll be back again. Thank you for watching again the show here on Black Hollywood Live, and I will see you next time.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.